Hey everyone, Reaper here again with another video. This time it's Reaper Picks, I think volume 6 or whatever. I don't know, I probably should have checked before I started making this. But anyway, this one's nothing really that spectacular. You know, the last two were affordable keys and the other ones were a bunch of other different things. This is just me being up here, looking through a couple of short boxes, pulling out some books to talk about, while my wife is downstairs watching a god-awful movie that I don't want to watch with her. Anyway, let's get started here. Before that, though, once again, let me shout out a couple of new YouTubers. Comic Book Boss, I keep saying that, Comic Boss 1, and his son, Cool Dude Maiden 1. I think it's 1 after it, I think. Forgive me if I messed up the name that you're using. It's just one of the things I just wanted to do off the top of my head. So check those guys out. Really, really cool. Comic Boss 1, he's putting out a lot of great content, as I mentioned in my previous video, the new trend video. And thank you all for watching that. That was a lot of fun to do. The EC haul was long overdue, actually. So let's talk about a couple of books I grabbed here. Now, warning that this video is not about investments or anything like that. Is this book a good investment? I would say no, but it's definitely a cool book to have. So for anybody, listen, if you want to buy books just for the sake of buying them because you enjoy them, that's fine. You hear me, Nick, and Patrick, we talk about investments and a bunch of other things on Wednesday night chats. They're not to be taken to heart. Sometimes we'll say, or sometimes we may make a face saying, "Oh, I would never get that for this." That's not, we're not making fun of anybody that would get that comic or anything like that. It's just that we're talking in a different different meaning, like when it comes to investments or so forth and so on, because we get a lot of those questions. Nick gets a ton of those questions. Oh, is this a good investment? Is that a good investment? And we answer them. But these are just books that are just fun to have, for the joy of collecting. But once again, though, whenever you're buying a book or anything, you don't want to overspend. Okay, so just try to watch when it comes to overspending. Now here is my high-grade copy of Showcase 55. I hope you're not getting too much of a delay with the video and my voice. But this is my, it's probably an 8.0, 8.5 copy. Very happy with it. I bought it a few years back. This is the first Silver Age appearance of Solomon Grundy. A big fan of Solomon Grundy. I would love to get All American Comics 61. I think that was his first appearance, right? All American Comics 61. I'm trying not to say, oh, never, I'll never get that. I'm replacing that cliche with my new cliche of never say never. Here's a Batman book for you, a Golden Age Batman. It's late. It's a late Golden Age book. I was just trying to figure out what year this came out. I think 1950, I think. Batman 63, the first appearance of this guy, Killer Moth. Not one of Batman's more famous villains. He's famous because he made his Silver Age appearance in the same book Barbara Gordon made her first appearance. So that was his big claim to fame. Now here's a book. Now I don't really do a lot of speculation. I don't do any speculation really. There are channels out on YouTube that could do it much more efficiently than I can ever do. But I think a lot of people are sort of specking on this book. Fantastic 448, the first appearance of the Silver Surfer and the first cameo appearance of Galactus. Other than this is one of the more classic storylines in the Marvel Universe from the 60s and ever. I think a lot of people are speculating on the fact that the Silver Surfer might pop up in a movie sometime, or might get his own movie or whatever. So I'd keep my eyes on this one. This is my 5.0 copy. I believe it's a 5.0. I should get it graded, but we'll see. But it's a nice mid-grade copy. I'm very happy with it. I was very happy to add it to my collection. Yeah, another cliche. Now, this is a book right here that I definitely want to upgrade. I bought it because it was cheap, and I'm saying to myself, yeah, I definitely want to upgrade it. It's got a lot of problems with it. This is Detective Comics 230, the first Silver Age appearance of the Mad Hatter. I have the first appearance of the Mad Hatter, which is Batman 49. It's one of the cheaper Golden Age Batman books to get, but I wanted the Silver Age too. It's definitely a pretty cool book. One of the more interesting things about this book, and probably other books around that time, is that how large this Comics Code Authority stamp is. I know this was like maybe about a year after that whole EC fiasco, so I guess they were really trying to show that, hey, we're following the Comics Code. So they made the stamp nice and big, but that's a book I'd like to upgrade sometime soon. Maybe within the next year. I'm upgrading a lot of my books, a lot of my Spider-Man books, and I'm trying to get a couple more Spider-Man books to add to my amazing haul coming out in August. But it's something that I'm probably going to be doing over the next year. Because I really want to beef up my Spider-Man collection and get rid of some of those really, really low grades that I purchased 20 years ago when I had no money and I was broke, and I want to try to get, well, not super, super high grade books or really, really high mid-grade books, but just more presentable books than what I have. And I've been doing that, just that. Now, this next book, I was introduced to this because of its artwork and all of that from none other than our friend, my friend, your friend, Dr. Von Schiller. Conan the Barbarian 24, the first full appearance of Red Sonja. My experience with Red Sonja, this is probably like a mid-grade book, like a 6.0. My experience with Red Sonja comes from watching her movie in the mid-80s that was on HBO after Conan the Destroyer, which was after The Goonies. You know, that block of movies that was showing on HBO every other day, as it seemed. But that was my first experience with Red Sonja, and it's pretty cool to actually have her first appearance in comics. 2 more books. Now, this book right here is probably an 8.0 copy. It's not one of the higher grade copies that I see on YouTube, but I'm happy to have it for what I paid for it many years ago. And sadly enough, I passed on getting this book for like $40, $50 quite a few times back then. I regret it now, but at least I have my copy. NYX number 3, the first appearance of Laura Kinney, X-23, Wolverine's daughter, the new Wolverine, all that stuff. Great book to have. Yeah, back then, I was trying to get that book, and I was like, I refuse to pay $50 for this book. I think I wound up paying $50, or a little more, I forget. But I was like, oh, I refuse to spend $50 on a modern book. It's ridiculous. Well, I think I was being ridiculous. You know, I was being arrogant, and I realized that the power of some of these modern books, what they have, and that was definitely one of them. And so I passed on many opportunities to get this for $50 until I finally caved in and paid that or a little more. I wish I bought more of them because now I know they're going for big money. And here's the last book of this particular Reaper Picks video. Another Golden Age. This is my oldest Golden Age book. I think this comes from what? Might come from 1940 actually. I don't know. I gotta double check. World's Finest Comics number 3, the first appearance of the Scarecrow. Now I know this cover does not reflect the first appearance of the Scarecrow. The Scarecrow, another one of the cheaper Golden Age Batman villains to purchase, alongside the Mad Hatter, Killer Moth, and so forth. He only made 2 appearances in the Golden Age, sort of like the Riddler. He made 2 appearances in the Golden Age, but we all know the Riddler's much better. But his second appearance was Detective Comics 73, which I think is worth more money than World's Finest number 3, his first appearance, because of the cover. You see the Scarecrow, it's a classic cover from the Golden Age, and you see the Scarecrow on it. And that's definitely a book I'd like to add to my collection, or will, you know, I should say will add to my collection eventually when I find it for the right price, in the right grade. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to see if I can do some more Reaper Picks videos. I got more video game videos coming out and a bunch of other comic book videos. So I hope you have a great weekend, and stay tuned and keep watching and keep collecting.